Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
AB Supply. Richard.
Are you the tech guy?
Sometimes I am.
Okay. So I've got a 1686 MEL with an NP1 power supply, and it doesn't work. It was working while we were changing cylinders on the exit device. We appeared to have shorted the line. We repaired the short, and the motor appeared to be running backwards at one point. It was not retracting. It was just spinning to extend.
Yeah.
So our access control people cycled the access control to lock and unlock because it was on a schedule. Then everything worked. This was when we left yesterday or 2 days ago. Then we heard, no, it wasn't working again. Well, the access control people came out, said that they found the rectifier that they put in line at the motor was shorting under the bar. So they replaced the rectifier, ran everything, and then it was working again when they left. Well, now somewhere along the way, it's quit working again. I don't know if this is the device or the power supply or what. I don't know anything about these.
What's the third option? And the fourth option? Third option would be it's wired wrong. Why is there a rectifier involved? There shouldn't be at all.
Yeah, they have one of those little. They have one of those little bridge.
Hold on one second. Yeah. So the 1686 and the NP1 are mated. There should be nothing extraneous should be added to that.
Right. So, I mean, you know what? I'm not an electrician. I am an access control guy a little bit because we do hardware, but the rectifier is those little, diodes between the positive and the negative on the door at the motor. So that does not need to be there, correct?
A rectifier is for, in a somewhat elegant way, modifying by clipping the sine wave of AC voltage and making it mimic DC voltage.
Well, okay, I may have used the wrong term. It's one of those little. I don't even know what I don't know what they're called. I guess I would have to call the access guy and ask him what it is. I've heard them called diodes. I've heard them called wave bridge rectifiers. I don't know what it is, but you don't need either one anything, right?
No, you shouldn't. There should be nothing stuck in there. Basically, a rectifier is if you've got if a transformer is powering.
Right, you're using a Yeah, I understand that. I know what those are. So this is probably a diode. I don't know. I can call them and find out. But there shouldn't be anything. Correct?
I don't know. There should not be anything. I mean, the installation.
It should be wired. It should be wired directly from 1 and 2 right to the motor. Correct?
I'm not looking at the instructions.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's 1 and 2 is the output. 3 and 4 is the input. 5 and 6 is the recs.
That sounds exactly right. The 1 and 2 should be powered.
Yeah, I've been looking at these for far too long today.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
the other thing that
be the power, and 3 and 4 is the switch, I believe.
Correct. The input from the access control. So the other thing is that they are throwing power, 12 volts, at the input. And from everything I'm reading, it should be a dry contact, no voltage.
Well, the 3 and 4 are dry.
That's what I'm saying, but they're from the access control system relay that they're triggering that with, they are jumping 12 volts through it and sending that into the input. They're using 12 volts to trigger.
Yeah, I mean, you have to power the switch, but you can't be sending voltage to the NP1.
Right, which is what they're doing. They're sending 12 volts out.
Yeah, that's no bueno.
Okay, which I agree. the other thing that they had initially when I got here was this is a pair, and they had wired both doors to door one.
Hmm. These people make a living installing access control?
Well, they do, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's right there in the directions, door one, door two. And they use some alternate wiring, which I saw for a pair, which you use, I don't know, the Rex over to 4 or something. I don't know. At first I thought, what in the world are they doing? They had like tried to parallel the inputs between 1 and 2, but they had both doors on number 1.
Hmm.
So I didn't understand that. So I split the doors onto 1 and 2. And then the wiring shows a jumper from 4 to 4, and that's it. So I put that in, but like I said, I'm still not working. I don't know if I need to take this diode, resistor, whatever it is they put in here, out. I don't know if my power supply has been damaged from the 12 volts coming in. I don't know. I don't know this material. Can I take my Von Duprin 2 amp power supply and just test the device and put 24 volts to it?
Sure, but it's probably it's likely gonna damage the device. I mean, yeah, you can
Well,
wire it.
no, I don't want to do it if it's going to damage the device.
Yeah. Yeah, there is only one power supply for a 1686 MEL, and it's not
Okay.
a PS906-4 to a PS873. It's an 861.
And that's fine. Yeah, I mean, that's why I haven't done it. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to ask first. I mean, to me, 24 volts and the proper amperage, regardless, would seem fine. But, you know, we use different ones on different devices that we run, but that's not this. I don't know this material.
Yeah, it's not the E or the I in Ohm's law. It's more like automatic doors nowadays, where the sensor, every time a high energy door is cycled, the sensor is sending a signal to the controller and back and forth, hey, I'm okay. And the NP1 and the 1686 MEL, they talk to each other in that regard. So if you can give it E and I, you're just not going to get the communication, and given that, it ought not work at all.
Okay.
So what I want to add is, I've had lots of conversations with not the engineers who design the NP1, but the guy who stands in front of them. And any type of intermittent behavior is really call for outright replacement. There's no way to service the stuff. You can't even get an ohm value on the motor. There's no way to test it. And I was reading that. It was saying don't test the motor, ohms, this, that. I read that on your site, I think it was. But yeah. Now they've also been very clear that they encourage reaching out to whomever supplied it, because apparently they have a very good, strong, liberal warranty policy.
Replacement policy. Okay.
Well.
Okay, so what I need to do is go back to, I can't remember, Hasek Door, who supplied it, and have them try to get a replacement power supply and start from there, hoping that nothing's wrong with the motors.
Well, why don't you just install one opening according to the installation instructions?
I tried.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're saying rewire it correctly?
Just do one opening and do it right, and just come up with a doorbell button for 3 and 4. Come up with a basic switch.
Right, and I can take all of that off and just run that and take a jumper and try and jumper my input 3 and 4.
Right. Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
Okay.
For some reason, when I take all power off and reapply power and then jumper that, my motor runs like it's trying to undog the door, but the door's already undogged.
Yeah, like you've got your polarity reversed. Yeah, I've heard that before.
Correct. Right, but but you don't reverse the polarity on these, I guess. If you do, it just doesn't work, is what I understood.
I've never tried it. I'm sure that I'm sure that it might.
Right.
But what we're saying is the observable behavior is as if polarity was reversed on DC.
Correct. Right. And that's what it did 2 days ago. And then when I called the access control guys and said, hey, they were on a schedule, and what happened was, as I hooked it back up, it kept wanting to run backwards. Every time I did it, it was running backwards. I'm like, what the heck? And I thought, oh, well, maybe one time it'll see it backwards and then it'll go forward.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't. So then I called them and I said, hey, take your schedule off. They did. They released the relay. They put it back on. And when you do it, you still hear the same thing, just running backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to reach out to the glazer to try and get a replacement power supply and go from there, I guess, right?
After you've taken pictures of all the existing wiring, yes, because someone's going to possibly have to pay for that. You know what I mean? Take pictures of
well, then I gotta put it all back. Then I got to put it all back wrong. You fixed it.
Well, my point is if they know that it was wired incorrectly, I mean, who's going to replace electronics?
Sure.
At no charge. So,
yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
HES, they replace. They don't care.
Well,
SDC,
that's also low quality material.
Hey, easy now. I sell lots of that.
I got burned on a 1006 one time because the knuckleheads moved the power supply 500 feet away on 18 gauge wire, and they blamed me. These people don't understand chapter 1 of low voltage. So and plus I go back to HES to like 1991. I just
Well, they used to be. Yeah. All right, let me talk to Hasek and see what we can do. I guess we'll just try. I mean, I don't know. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.